Wow, that's a tremendous looking trophy.
This week, man, in the hot seat, it's me, Dylan Blight, hosting this week's episode of Platinum Explosion. Welcome, everybody, to the #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanas. Jono's also joining me. He's not hosting this week. He wants to be hosting again. He had such a great time last week. Good job last week, Jono.
Thank you,
Good job,
Dylan.
man.
Good, great fun.
Also joining us today, Jack Cruz.
Plat, hashtag sorry NATO.
Ashley Hobley's here.
It's your boy.
Oh, what? You're filling in for Nick, are you?
Nick's on here pretty much every week.
You should try a little bit more quieter and uninfused.
Closer to the mic.
It's your boy.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do.
Right, let's spin right into action, boys, and talk about a little old Bandicoot and how he is back. He's ascended, and we're going to start it off with the eventually agreed upon hashtag of hashtag Jono and Dylan was right.
Yes, we're right.
After some we took a while to get there. There's some arguments, but now
Jono's
we got
even like correcting grammar in hashtags.
So Crash is seemingly back this week, guys. Me and Jack did a video about a little review discussion video on Crash last night that you can check out on our YouTube channel, bit.ly/Explosion Network, where we just talked about the game for about 20 minutes. But I just want to talk about it with everyone here in a more broader aspect, and specifically the fact more so about the sales. It has sold out basically everywhere. Like Press Start had a story up earlier this morning or last night saying that they looked around a whole bunch of stores. People can't find this game in JB's. People can't find this game in Targets. People can't find this games anywhere. People can't find this games for people to buy, it's crazy. I can't remember the last time I saw stories about games actually selling out with proof. Like you hear stories like, oh, this game's really selling anywhere, but you could go into a store and find it no matter what.
Yeah. Last one that sort of comes to mind is Neo. When Neo came out, and that seemingly was from a lack of printing from
Low
Sony.
supply,
rather than it was a really popular game and it reviewed fantastically, but it sold obviously well compared to obviously what they had forecasted because it was sold out everywhere. That's sort of the last one I can think of where you go to the shops and you couldn't get it. Like this is sort of on, NES Classic, original Wii sort of level where you cannot find this thing anywhere.
I'd say Persona 5 as well as recently has been very hard to find at places as well. But this has been
Persona
insane.
5 was, yeah. I mean, I couldn't get Persona at my local EB, but I went next door to Big W and they had a copy there. So,
well, you didn't have to travel far, did you?
No, I didn't. No, exactly. But like Crash is gone. My local Big W, JB, and EB games are all sold out. So, this is good. Like we said in the review discussion last night, this is good for. I mean, obviously, it's good for Sony. It's good for Activision, and it's good for the gamer. This can only mean
unless you
good
don't have
things.
the game.
Oh yeah, unless you don't have the game. But as a whole, I think just this means that it's a proven. Like we've had two now in the last year, Ratchet and Crash. Is that there's a yearning for this sort of nostalgia-driven game, and that the platformer, like the cartoony sort of family-friendly platformer, is a genre that's still well and truly. Jono, what's the word?
Truly.
The phrasing. Truly. Well and truly still in demand, and people still want to play these games. And as frustrating as Crash is, it's sort of people just digging it. So,
Jono, you're running on a high of hashtag Jono was right until eventually I converted you to hashtag Jono and Dylan were right. Are you just happy to ride along, feeling good about being right about this selling well, or do you think this is good?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I haven't got the game yet, so I'm in a bit of a rough spot, but I'm looking forward to picking it up when it's available again. It's really annoying because I got a $10 discount voucher for Oz Game Shop, so I was hoping to pick it up for $40.
Are they sold out as well?
Yeah, they sold out. They were the first place I saw to actually say they were sold out because I tried to get it on Saturday and it was already gone. I couldn't get it. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say JB Hi-Fi tweeted out the day before that the day before the release, they said that all pre-orders are exhausted, so you're going to have to try your luck in store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I thought it would do well, and not just in the fact that we know that it's selling out, but the social media, like the eye test seems to indicate that people are either playing it and loving it, they're playing it and hating it because it's so hard, or they've given up already. But people bought it. We can see that because it's everywhere. And I'd like to add to the hashtag Jono and Dylan were right to say hashtag Jack, Nick, Tom, and
Tom.
NATO were wrong.
Anyone who hates on Crash,
I didn't hate on Crash. I've been enthusiastic about Crash for a long time. I'm not sure where that fake
you
news
said it
came
wasn't
from.
gonna. You said it wasn't gonna.
I
sell.
didn't know. I did. Yeah. Well, I'm happy that I'm wrong. I didn't think it would like sell as well as it has. It's obviously done. It's probably. I mean, it's clearly done better than Sony anticipated because it's sold out.
Yep.
If they still had copies like out there, it'd still be selling. Obviously, they can't sell it if it's not available. People just
Except
gonna
for
download it. So
PSN, yeah. What do you guys think of the overly positive reviews for it? Because there was, there's always been this chatter similar to people talk about Sonic as Crash games weren't actually that good. They're just nostalgic. They're overrated. But here we are. It's 2017, and the game's getting. It was at 81 on Metacritic the last time I looked, but it seems that it holds up overall.
I don't know that it so much holds up in that. I think it's getting positive reviews because it's so faithful to the original. We spoke about last night that it's Crash 1 is as clunky and finicky and frustratingly hard as the original PS1 version was, where you didn't have analog sticks to maneuver Crash. So, I mean, it's a myriad of different things. I think a big part of that is that they've stayed so faithful to it. They could have very easily smoothened it up and made it really like easy and to beat and that kind of thing and less frustrating. Yeah. But I think, again, we spoke last, something I said is that in 2017, this game, Crash for what it is now, if that was released now the way it is, that would be a 5 out of 10 mediocre platformer.
So how do you review an old game? Do you review it against, is it faithful to the original, or do you review it as a modern game? Like, what do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I think you should review it as a modern game, but I don't think it's hard to be objective with something from your childhood, I think. Which I think is the same thing with probably Ratchet a bit, but Ratchet was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of these remakes, there is a lot of nostalgia that plays into it as well, I think.
I keep pointing out that a lot of people don't actually realize how old these games are, and it's a big thing to me to always point out that Spyro, the first Spyro, came out after Crash 3, which to me kind of puts into perspective how early into the PS1 generation they are and how old these games basically are. And they do show their age very much so. They may look like a game that was made today because they look beautiful, they look amazing, they look great in 1080. Playing it in 4K, it looks fucking...
They sound great.
Amazing. They sound great. But the gameplay is old, and I think that it is a collection. I think when you're reviewing it, all the reviews I've read have taken into account that it is a collection of old games, and they judge it accordingly. They move their bar and something like that. If you reviewed this as if it was a new game that came out today, the scores would be way lower. But that's an unfair way to review the game.
Yeah, because that's not what it is. It's a remake of an old game, and it's done well to be as faithful as it. And that's the thing. It's phenomenal the way that they've been able to keep it as frustrating as it is.
It's very frustrating.
Was it 1998 that the third Crash game hit? It was like 96, 97, 98.
Basically, after, I think that was one after every year.
Pretty amazing.
And then Crash Team Racing, then Crash Bash, the classic Mario Party ripoff. Ash, did you ever play Crash? I don't know.
I haven't.
Crash history.
No, I haven't.
You've never played any Crashes?
No, I probably did at some point, but not a lot. Not very much, like on someone else's PlayStation or something. Probably.
Okay, so you look at this, you hear the hype around this from people like me yelling from the top of clouds how excited that they are for months leading up to this thing's release, stuff like that. Do you have any interest in checking this out, or do you think because it is like an old remaster, you don't really care?
I do care. I mean, it's not something I urgently want to duck out and get, if I could anyway. But yeah, it's. I'm happy for people who were playing Crash and can relive their childhood, but it's not something I'm urgently wanting to go out and get. But the thing I'm finding interesting is, do you guys think it would have sold as well if everybody was sticking at the $69 price point?
Probably
Definitely not. Definitely not.
That's why that was one of the reasons I thought it would do so well, is because it was coming out at $40 or $50 or whatever it was.
JB Hi-Fi had that deal. Big W kind of stuffed up for a while, and people got cheap there. EB Games had that good deal, trading to any 2 games, get it for $20. Everyone held deals going, and I'm highly doubtful anyone, unless you brought this digitally, you haven't paid full price for this game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's way playing into its favor. Yeah. So next part is, there was another story up yesterday or the day before that people figured out that the code from Crash 3 that you could put in on the menu, which would take you to a demo of Spyro, if you did that in front of the Crash 3 screen and the title menu, if you put in the same code, it would more or less change the title screen font. So it would trigger something. Nothing happens, but it does mean that they've purposely programmed in that to the title screen, so it gives a subtle hint of that code to people who know what that code means, to who played the original game. So hinting at the Spyro collection, more or less, and combining that with the sales of this game, the miraculous sales, and with this game, is it more or less box in, case closed, that the Spyro collection is going to happen at this stage? Activision's more or less just like, it's coming out, they'll announce it next year. What do we reckon?
I mean, I don't know that it's 100% locked in, and that could very easily to them just being like, oh, we'll put that in there. It's a nice little nod to, the original where they had the thing in there. I think it's, and I've said this before, I think it's more likely than not that we'll get Spyro. I think there's a better chance of Spyro than sort of any others, only because of the, you've obviously got the nostalgia factor of, us people our age who played Spyro when we were kids, and it'll come out. It'll be the same thing with Crash. And then you've also got the, the kids of today who are into the Skylanders and all those things and the toys and that. And obviously Spyro's the original Skylander, so it'll obviously have it. They'll be able to bring people in from both sides. So I think it's more likely than not that we'll get a Spyro collection. Whether it's 100% locked in and whether this little nod in the game is an indication of that, I'm not so sure. But yeah, I think we're probably more likely to get one than we're not.
Jono?
Yeah, I mean, whether or not it comes out in a year, I don't think that I think they would have held off to see how Crash goes before jumping into developing another massive remake, or whatever you want to call this. I want to say, like, how awesome would it be if that putting in that code in Crash 3 actually took you to the demo of
I would have lost my
Spyro remake.
Would have lost my shit.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. But yeah, to answer the question, I think it'll happen, especially considering how successful this is, and that there's an active call for Spyro to get remastered. So
yeah, more so than Crash in some parts of the internet. Even.
Yeah.
So
I guess there's an idea that it holds up better. So we'll see.
Just for everyone's information, the team that's made the Insane Trilogy is the team that has developed the last few Skylanders games. So I think
they also did GBA Crash games. And other stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
They've got the history, the pedigree.
Very interesting.
Like that.
So they're, if anyone's obviously going to do a Spyro game, it's probably going to be them, because one, they've already got all the assets and everything they need, but they're obviously familiar with the character and its history.
Ash, Spyro.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if they don't pull the trigger on this. I mean, the money's there to be gotten, so why wouldn't you?
Got to get
from
that
a purely
cash.
From a purely business point of view, why would you leave that money on the table?
Yeah. Did you play Spyro back in the day?
No, I did not.
You didn't play Spyro Crash? Oh man.
What video games did you play as a kid, Ash?
He's like
Star
34, isn't he?
Star
He played
Fox.
like Pong.
Yeah.
Ash, when you say that they'd be
been
silly,
a
like
kid.
they're leaving money on the table, they'd be silly. Remember, we still can't change our PSN name, so let's not get too carried away.
Well, it's
That's
Activision, really. So Activision suits would be leaving money on the table.
Yeah. Activision.
Does everyone remember how bad, when Jono mentioned how it holds up better? I don't know if anyone remembers, but Spyro 1 controls worse than Crash 1, I think.
Do you think? I don't know that it's worse.
Or just as bad. It is the tankiest character. For a little tiny purple dragon, he controlled as heavy as a tank. And I can't imagine playing that
punchy,
today.
a little bit of puppy fat, a little baby dragon. No, I mean, I was able to finish
small
Spyro
wings.
1. I was able to finish Spyro 1, and I still can't even finish Crash 1 on fucking PlayStation 4. So,
Get good, scrub.
Get good, scrub. I went back to it this evening. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pass this level that I gave up on the other night, and it's the one where you get to the end of it, and there's the 3 fire, like that first one where you're traversing the wall, and there's the 3 fire things you've got to get over.
Yeah.
And I think the
I
only way
watched
you can get
Dylan
across is if you've got
playing
the Ooka Booka. Do you know what I'm talking about, Dylan?
Yes. You
Yeah.
haven't got very
I
far
do.
in the game.
Yeah.
No,
Early-
I'm like
early
20%.
days.
I'm 20% in.
You haven't even got the Ripperoo yet.
No, not
The
in
first
this one,
boss
I
is Papu Papu or whatever
Yeah, the one
his
with
name is.
the fucking
Second boss is
staff or whatever.
Ripperoo.
No, I'm not at Ripperoo yet.
Yeah, you got a ways to go. Let's move on to the next story of the week, which is that the PS Plus July lineup got announced, and it is a great one of the best ones we've probably had all year, I think, if not the best one, solely for the fact that it includes Until Dawn, which was one of the best games of last year. And when looking at PS Plus lineups, I already have Until Dawn. It's not like I'm disappointed, which is a thing I think a lot of people get. Like, I see a lot of comments for stuff like this. Until Dawn, great game, already have it. Like, ship PlayStation Plus lineup. Which I find crazy. Like, I see Until Dawn, I'm like, oh, great. That's amazing. I'm so glad that people didn't play that game get to finally play this game and get to be excited for the eventual sequel that I can guarantee that can come. Other games, quickly run down the list, is the Game of Thrones, the Telltale thing on PS4 is coming, which was okay. Tokyo Jungle on PS3, Darkstalkers Resurrection, but I'm at the stage where I kind of just zone over PS3 and I can't wait until they replace it with a VR section, which is what I think will happen. And then Element 41 on Vita and Don't Die Mr. Robot, both games I knew nothing about, so I looked up trailers and gameplay. If anyone that doesn't know what these are, because most people don't, because they're little weird indie Vita games, I suppose. Element 41 has been out on Steam for quite a while. Of course it has. You play as a cute little character that's made up of 4 elements, and you get to side scroll across a quite beautiful looking world. I'm not sure what it is. I assume it's like a heavy story based kind of platformer thing. That looks cool though. That's interesting enough for me. And Don't Die Mr. Robot is a crazy, a million things happening on screen at the one time puzzle. Yeah, it looks quite ridiculous. Both games look like cool fun to have on your Vita though. So as far as I'm concerned, Until Dawn, amazing game. Game of Thrones is okay, so PS4 lineup's great. Vita lineup, both games I'm quite interested in checking out this month. So anyone else see any standouts for PS Plus?
Pretty interesting timing for all this with Until Dawn, with the two supermassive games, Impatient,
the VR
and,
ones, yeah.
Hidden Agenda, which are tied in, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
To Until Dawn. It makes sense that they're bringing out now.
Yeah, I really like the look of the Element game on the Vita.
Me too.
I think that
I
looks
hadn't
like
seen
a
that,
fun little romp. It's kind of got the Limbo vibes, but more like a more vibrant kind of world. And
Yeah. The colours, very colourful.
and it's
looking well.
I guess it looks like a heartwarming tale. If there is a story, it's hard to tell from the trailer.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a great lineup, and like I'm sort of in that camp. And I'm like, yeah, I've got most of those games already, so like, you know, sort of for me, it's sort of like I'm less like I'm obviously a little bit more tepid with what's coming out, but it's great for the ones that don't. Like, I own Until Dawn physically, and I'll probably play that. You know, and the same with like last month. Like, I owned Life is Strange last month, so it was great that it came. But I'm like, I already own it. I'm like, okay.
Why less games?
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
You've got unopened ones on a shelf.
Still in their wrapper.
Yeah.
I hope it makes the people who say PS Plus is a waste of money happy. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that PS Plus is a waste of money. Only now. I mean, if you didn't obviously get the online infrastructure as part of it now, and it was just for the games like it used to be, probably would be like, okay, I probably don't need this anymore. But I mean, and not that I even play online that much, but I mean, it's just good to have. Like, I wouldn't want to be like, oh, you know, got this new fucking whatever. Titanfall came out.
On a tangent on that, since I just remembered, did anyone else get that email early in the week celebrating online?
I did get that.
It said I'd played like 29 hours online all
16
year.
hours.
Yeah, mine was
Yeah, mine said 23. I'm like,
It's my most played game online PS4 was Payday 2. I'm
Yeah,
like,
same.
Oh, makes sense.
That's what-
Yeah, mine was Titanfall 2. So
Mine was only 17. I don't know how yours could be so little, Dylan, considering all the streaming you guys have been doing.
Dylan's heard that before, though.
Oh, between like Friday the 13th, Payday,
Yeah.
and whatever. I suppose it's but it's not. I don't know. It's weird.
My
isn't it?
most played game
It's not
was
that much
Rise
more-
of the Tomb Raider. And I've only done I
Online?
only played it
Online?
I've only played it like 3 times online.
for 16 hours.
No, that's the total.
Or, okay, I was about to say if that's the only game you played, that's crazy. Nonetheless, PS Plus this month looking amazing. It's great
yeah.
to see.
Still
I'm
waiting
excited
for
everyone.
still waiting for that knack. That knack
No.
PS Plus.
Well, when's NAC 2 released?
September.
So we should be getting it before then. You'd think.
You think August?
August.
Smart. August, yeah.
Everyone will lose their mind if they put that because of a PS Plus game. It'll be quite funny.
Then you can have it a third time, Dylan. Jack, sorry.
Yeah. Might actually play it finally.
When's that
If
knack?
he gets it enough times, yeah.
You bought 2 copies.
I already own it twice. I own it physically and digitally.
Oh, really?
Moving on, but before moving on to what I think is the biggest interesting story of the week for me personally, I want to make a quick side note to fit in. Last week, not last week, you did last week, the week before, the last one I was on, the last proper episode, if you want to call it that. I mentioned that Spider-Man, the VR experience was coming out. I sat down to play that this afternoon. It is exactly what I thought it would be. It is a 10 to 15 minute little fun mini game thing, and it ends very abruptly and then tells you to go watch the movie, which I know is probably going to annoy some people, but A, it's free, and B, that's basically what it
was
is.
free?
It's a free 15-minute trailer
What's the
to
pain?
make you go watch the thing. What you do is you get 2 move controllers, which is your left and right hand, and you're on top of Spider-Man's roof, and you get to shoot webs at bottles. You got a couple different moves. You can grab stuff, chuck them, pull them back towards you. That felt cool. At one stage, you get to shoot up into the air and like start flying along the bottom of the street. And I was like, yes, this feels so awesome. And I went to reach out with my other hand to like aim my next web shooter on another building, and then it cut to black and said, "Go watch the movie." And I went,
You
"Fuck it."
motherfucker.
So what does it look like? Does it look good?
It looks as decent as most VR games do, which is if you haven't played VR, they up close. My hands look great. Spider-Man's hand. The longer you look out in the distance, the blurrier stuff gets, and that's just how VR kind of works at the moment. But it wasn't it wasn't like a really cheap thing. Like the stuff around me, the environment kind of
wasn't cobbled together.
It wasn't cobbled. It didn't look like complete crap. So they put enough effort into it that it was an enjoyable 10 to 15 minutes. And if they had chucked trophies in for like completing the little mini games faster, I would have been playing it again. So sure, if you've got VR, you like Spider-Man, I see no reason not to download that and enjoy yourself for like 10 minutes. And while
Nick.
I'm in a quick VR corner, I wanted to make a call out to another cool thing I checked out real quick, which was a Chainsmokers had a music video. This is a free download too. And it's like for one of their songs, but when the song starts, you kind of just float down a highway and the song's playing, and it's this very colourful kind of like Res Infinite environment around you. And I was just sitting there and I was like, oh, this is cool. The song's cool. You got the surround 3D sound happening. This is cool. And then I realised I could move my head, and there's a little rectangle, like a little dot on the screen where I'm like, oh, that's what I'm aiming at. I can aim at stuff. And I realized like, oh, the lampposts around me, if I tapped them enough with my head, it would start more beats playing with the song, and then they'd explode. And you get to the end of areas, and there's these giant circular objects start forming like time travel portals. And if you like wave your head backwards and forwards across them a bunch of times, it would start playing the bass really fast. Which to me, I'm not a big Chainsmokers fan, but I was like, this is cool. And I really enjoy seeing different directions that like VR can go, especially with something like a music video or something like that. What LMFAO also put out like a music video in VR where it was like a 360 experience where it's a full story and you can watch them do the whole thing. Not a big LMFAO, whatever they're called. Fan. I don't like them. I don't like
not
Red
important.
Food. I don't like them. But it's just really interesting to me to check out stuff like this, and I think it's really cool. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you three particularly who don't have VR and have different opinions on it as we talk about it through the episodes of Plat. Does hearing me talk about stuff like this not make you want to buy it, but do you find like music video type stuff and stuff like that interesting, or is it like to hear not about games?
I do. I mean, it's good to know that that stuff's there. None of that's going to make me buy a unit, but knowing that it's there is cool to be like, oh, I can chuck the helmet on, check out this music video, this 5-minute experience or whatever it is, and sort of dick around, that kind of thing. I still stand firm on, and I've sort of, I've made the decision in my mind, and I'm going to sort of stick by it, is I won't buy VR until I get an X-Wing or like a Rogue Squadron game. So once that comes out, that's when I go and take the plunge. But until that day, there's sort of nothing that's really going to entice me into, like, I've played VR golf. That was fine. I'm equally as terrible in VR as I am in real life, as much as I love the game. And that wasn't enough for me to be like, I need it. So, yeah.
Jono, Blink-182 music videos, if that was a thing, how excited would you be?
Yeah, I mean, the music video itself doesn't entice me. But as you were talking, I started thinking about games like Sound Shapes and Ho Hokum and that kind of thing, where you can actually use the VR set to, manipulate the music and, little mini games, whether it's something like Unfinished Swan. I think that there's a really good potential for indie games to mess around with, I guess, the unique facets of VR and play them against music. Yeah.
I think Unfinished Swan's a great call out. I think that one would be fantastic in VR, especially being the sort of first person. But imagine Journey in VR. Imagine that. Like, and not if you still sort of control the people with a dual shock, but you're immersed in that world, and you sort of turn your head and you look up into the mountains and the sand and the desert. Like, imagine that
that'd be
in
awesome.
VR. That'd be fucking amazing.
Ash, does this sort of stuff make you go, maybe one day? Or
Yeah, maybe one day. Yeah.
I don't think these are selling points, but they're things that people don't really talk about.
Well, that was always the stuff that people were pitching, that they'd say, it's not just games, it's other things that they could be doing.
Experiences and stuff.
Mentioning that, it reminded me of them talking ages back, saying Sony had bought like a theater, like in New York, that people were speculating that they would do like live music
3D
events
cameras, and then the VR, you could watch PSX.
which would be, that'd
live.
be cool. I wouldn't mind experiencing something like that. That'd be
different. Well, I watched in one of the apps on the thing, there's a behind the scenes video from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
which I found fascinating as all hell, just to watch Will Ferrell there doing his stuff and whatever else, filming the skit, and just like looking around being like, there's a cue card guy, there's a camera guy, what are you doing, you weirdo? There's the audience, like there's their giant screen. Yeah. It was like this really cool thing and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think like to point out VR stuff that isn't games every now and then, just so people know there's more to it.
Have they really got on board with the sporting potential in PSVR? Because I know other like the Oculus has offered.
There's UFC matches you can watch.
Okay. I know that the Samsung guys have offered like NBA experiences and stuff like that, but I wasn't sure.
I'm waiting for the day they put a 360 camera on the Mars rover and just let me fuck around on Mars for a bit.
I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but
let's send a rover to Mars.
That'd be quite an achievement,
so that we can play video games up there.
No, I just want to watch. I don't need to play anything. Just like stick a camera on the Mars rover. I don't even have to control it. Just let me plonk my head on it and
just look around.
Just stick her. Yeah, just stare like while the rover's going and picking up dirt and whatever, and just let me like look at Mars. Like that's kind of stuff. Fucking send a probe up to, or I don't know how space works, but send one up
for that.
Send one up to the moon and like drop a fucking rover on the moon and just charge.
I like how NASA's listening. Like, oh shit, yeah, we didn't think of that, Jack. Good fucking idea. Let's just go drop one.
Don't you think that'd be a really cool idea?
Put
like
cameras on our shuttles and then
having a rover up on the moon that just sort of goes and does trips up and down the craters or whatever, and just having a 360 camera and just being able to like look up and down and being like, look at the fucking planet Earth and look across at like the little crater and stuff. Like that kind of stuff to me is like, that would be so cool. Stuff like that. Even like, it could be anything like, there's a dude's fucking expeditioning in Antarctica and he's got a camera on a GoPro or whatever, and you're just living through the GoPro, or he's climbing up fucking mountain or whatever, like that kind of stuff. It'd be super cool. I'd get down with that.
You'd get down with that?
Yeah.
You'd rock to the
I get jiggy with it. No, 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 no.
I want to jump into hashtag every trophy counts straight away at about the halfway point because there's a big story this week to talk about that does involve trophies. Let's talk about a little game called 1000 Top Rated. And if you're most Australian, New Zealand listeners, unless you've read the story, are probably going, what the hell's this game? I've never heard this game. That's because it never came to our stores. And you know why it never came to our stores, dear Oceanic listeners? It's because they fuck us out of any easy platinums they do. They just fucking never give them to us, ever.
You get that fucking Mayo game.
Mayonnaise game, or whatever the hell else they
Taco
never
Master.
give them to us. Taco Master.
Still waiting.
God
Still waiting.
damn it. Nonetheless, interesting story this week because another easy platinum game, 1000 Top Rated, apparently takes you about 20 minutes to get. Very simple puzzle game that more or less seems to be a trailer for a wallpaper website or something along those lines, that you build puzzles for wallpapers and then you can go buy the wallpapers from another website, but you get a whole heap of easy trophies for doing it, and it costs like $3. It was on special for like 99 cents in America in the last week or something, I think. So everyone was picking up a platinum for 99 cents, taking them 20 minutes, and Sony pulled the game from the store, which I don't think has ever happened as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's any. I tried to Google, I couldn't find any times this. There's been stories like with Watch Dogs where they've patched the game to make getting the platinum easier. But as far as I know, this is the only game that people might have on their profile that you'll never be able to get. It's gone. Which to me, there's two different
PT
didn't have trophies, and it was a demo, so I don't really count it.
There's been games they pulled that like
this costs money though.
Yeah,
this is a game that costs money.
There was some games pulled late last year. I think they were like Activision licensed games because the licenses run out, so they pulled them all off the store.
Oh, the online Marvel Alliance
stuff.
They had the licenses ran out. But I'm just talking about like Sony going, there's something wrong with this. This shouldn't be here. We're going to pull it. Which to me are several interesting aspects. Like I read the story, I'm automatically like, that's great. I'm glad to see Sony's doing that because there's too much crap being let onto the store. But at the same time, I'm like, you already put it on there. You should have just let this one be, leave it, and then from now on be a bit more stricter on it. I was kind of annoyed that now there's a bunch of people, and of course, being a trophy into trophies, I'm like, this kind of annoys me that there's a game out there that I would never be able to get.
So on PSN profiles, it says 1,430 people have the platinum. Just so you know, Dylan, but you're not one of them.
Making me freaking sad, I tell you. So
how did it get
what do
there?
we think?
So,
Go.
I want to know.
I think it's
Yeah, that's the problem. How the hell did it get on the store in the first place?
well, this
They
is
have
the thing,
no
right?
checking.
This is the thing. So obviously, like, there's been, and this isn't like new news for us. Like, this has been some bullshit that's been going on since probably a year into the PS4's life cycle. There's a myriad of games that come out every week. Dozens of games come out every week. Majority of them crap, don't make a splash. You get things like My Name is Mayo, fucking this 1000 Top Rated, that Black Tiger game, really poor quality games coming out and just sort of making it through. Like, there was a game like that one with the stolen assets, and
That was Black
it's just a
Tiger
lot of
one.
shit, right? Yeah, there's a lot of shit that just comes out that's of really bad quality, and it dilutes the store, and it'll end up like the fucking App Store. And so what's happened, and I saw it sort of happen, someone, I think, tweeted at Sean Layden.
And he's
was
like already handled it.
Yeah, and he's like, they're like, hey, this is bullshit. You keep putting this crap on the store. It's diluting the marketplace. It's not good for the gamer. And he's like, it's sorted. Like, he's read it back. He's like, it's sorted, and then it was gone. So what leads me to probably to believe is that this has been going on because, for whatever reason, whoever's been in charge of QA, sort of letting games through, is either
No one.
really lenient or just doesn't give a fuck, and obviously hasn't been doing their job properly or been doing it to the level of quality that they should have been doing. And that now that this has happened again and again and again, it's finally gotten to the top, and someone's gone, what the fuck is this shit? What is going on down there? I wouldn't be surprised if someone got fired, to be perfectly honest. Why is this crap on our store? This is not up to scratch. Sort it out. And they pulled it, and it's probably, I don't imagine, this could be a flow-on effect, and it might now become a lot harder for games to get approved and through cert to get on the PlayStation store. So
which is a good thing.
Good for the gamer,
Bad for the
bad
developer.
the developer, yeah. Which in turn
Jono?
could be bad for the gamer.
What do you reckon, Johnny?
I think it's good that it got pulled. I don't think it should have been up there. It kind of dilutes the sanctity of the trophies, the platinum trophy.
It is a sacred place, the PSN.
Yeah, and I kind of it is annoying. Like I'm not quite at Dylan's level, but I do like getting platinum trophies.
I'm not crying over
No,
it.
I mean like in terms of
You are.
Not right now.
I'm talking about in terms of trophy chasing. Like I haven't got
Yeah.
the 100 plats like Dill, but I do like to get an easy platinum now and then. So, I've looked for Taco Master, I've looked for My Name is Mayo, check the store every now and then to see if it's up there sneakily, but it's
Nope.
not. And I probably would have bought this game because,
I would have brought him.
But at the same time, I
I'm willing
kind
to
of
admit.
like that Australia is like the pure form of
We're the
of
pure one?
PSN. We're the pure one. We don't allow these, cheap platinum trophies onto our network.
Yeah, we also don't get Hotline Miami 2 and other such good games. We get the nerfed version of South Park Stick of Truth.
100 platinums in Australia is a lot stronger to say than 100 platinums
That's
in
right.
America. I'll tell
It's
you
like
that.
an exchange
Yeah,
rate.
yeah.
It means I played more. Exchange rate and trophies.
You go
It's
to
a
the
lot
States,
different.
Dylan, that 100 platinums turns into 120.
Yeah,
It's probably right though. Someone work out the math. Ash, what do you reckon about this story?
Yeah, it's probably good that they pulled it, but I think I read somewhere that they told them that they would be allowed back on the store if they stopped advertising about the Platinum Trophy and removed a lot of their advertising. So I don't know how much they actually care about the quality control, or whether it was just that they were promoting buying a Platinum for 99 cents.
Yeah, it's interesting that they actually
Smart
advertised
advertising.
this as the easiest platinum you can get, basically. It was in the
Smart.
description.
Smart, yeah.
yeah. I guess that's sort of like, I mean, it sort of goes to the next level of like, is that bad then of Sony being like, what does Sony want from the PSN store? Do they want it to just be like, this is your game, this is a vision for the game? Obviously, a lot of people want it, so it's obviously good for someone. It's not like it's a fucking game about, I don't know, something really heinous. Like it's just a jigsaw puzzle game.
You know
for all
what
intents and purposes.
the big difference between so like if I open up the PlayStation Store and I see the new games for the week and half of them like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I don't know what any of this shit is. But the difference between opening up the PlayStation Store doing that and something like Steam and opening it up like I opened it up today at some point and just saw a whole heap of games on the front page and I'm like, what is this? I click on it. I'm like, oh, that's a cool little indie game, but it's like 60% off. Like Steam always has sales going. Games are usually marked down. Most of the time when a game comes out, they're like way cheaper. And the review system on it also helps. Like the way you can scroll straight to the bottom. If a game's actually just some trolly piece of crap, you can scroll down. You'll see a bunch of user reviews telling you this is crap, this is not good, blah blah blah. You can get way more of a scale for games as you look at them compared to you open up PlayStation Store. You're like, what is this? Is it good? I have no idea. There's nothing here to tell me. There's just this bunch of text. So I think a lot of I think the PlayStation could take a lot from Steam sales, but as well as like the infrastructure and the way it's set up for custom reviews. There's a Metacritic score page chucked on there and everything like that. It's very user friendly so you can get at a quick glance. The critics are loving it. The critics are hating it. The users are loving it. The users are hating it. PlayStation Store is just so... It's just you just see what the developer wants you to see or the publisher wants you to see. And so a lot of these games that are crap, there's no way for someone to yell out, no, I brought this, don't.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be a bit more transparent.
Yeah, I think features like that would go a long way on the PlayStation Store particularly. So I don't know, like what's the best you can do at the moment? You can like review, you can kind of review stuff on the PlayStation Store, but it doesn't show up in the main page. You have to you can only see your friends' reviews or something.
I guess the difference with
weird.
Steam is there's not really anywhere else to get games off the PC. Like, I mean, I'm not like some PC. I'm not in there, so I don't.
You can go to Origin, Uplay, Battle.net. Like you go to Steam is the major.
If Steam ceased to exist, I think it would be pretty bad for PC gaming. Like it would cause a lot of problems. So
but don't you think because they're the only place that they could run it worse because there's no competition, yet they constantly update it and make it run as far as I'm concerned, better.
Yeah,
Like I have a
yes.
lot of problems with Stream Greenlight and stuff like that, but like Steam is run to a higher standard than other places.
But they don't have
With
to
no
compete with the
competition.
retail, like the physical retail space in the way that I guess Sony thinks that it needs to
Yeah,
sell
well,
hardware.
yeah.
Yeah.
True. This is true. It's very good. So on to actual trophy talk this week. I have a few lists and a particular game that I want to talk about, which list has popped because we talked about it a couple weeks ago. The That's You, the
Yep.
PlayLink games. That's coming out tomorrow. I think it's out July 4th in America. So no, it will be out Thursday. I suppose,
With all
for
the
us.
PS Plus stuff.
So okay, with all the PS Plus stuff, but it's basically the Jackbox party game for the new PlayStation mobile app thing that we're all going to be downloading and enjoying and checking out. And most interestingly, of course, it is a free game and it has a platinum and it looks pretty easy. So I'm excited. Trophies include such things as complete a 2-player game, complete a 3-player game, complete a 6-player game, blah blah blah. Play 30 games. Win a full consensus on a word game, achieve full consensus. It's basically a bunch of easy stuff that you'll either get from playing it naturally, or you could very easily just get friends and just like farm it. Obviously, so that's cool.
That's the
I'm
trickiest
excited
part, getting friends.
It is for some of us. Ash, I fucking tell you. High five. Little old Dylan in the schoolyard. Does anyone want to play That's You with me? I've got the mobile app. Do you want to help me play the game? No, that's fine. The second set of trophies that popped, which I wanted Tom here to talk about, but he had to jump out, was the Diablo 3 Rise of the Necromancer trophies are up, and I found this really interesting because it is the first like expansion or DLC pack for Diablo 3 that actually has trophies. Like all the other updates and everything else like that never added any trophies for. And Diablo came out on consoles like 2 years ago or something. What's it say?
More than that.
2014.
It was a
3 years ago.
PS3 game first, so
August 19th, 2014 is when it came out. And it only this week
nearly
got its
3
first DLC trophy pack. And it says DLC trophy pack 1. So I'm like, what? Okay, so
did the Ultimate Evil Edition add-on thing not have?
it's just one trophy list.
Yeah,
It's interesting. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. And since then
That's
they have
good. I don't
they've
like
added
the
free
fucking-
updates and stuff like that, and they've added like free expansions, which you're like, oh, but they're free, Dylan. Why would they add trophies? Warframe, free to play game, adds like free expansions. They all add free expansions and stuff like that. So I don't know why it's taken to this update for Blizzard to, I assume, ask for trophies, because I presume like Sony's not going to tell them to put DLC trophies on Diablo for some weird reason, but we gotta ourselves some Diablo 3 trophies this year. The other thing I was going to point out to Tom was that there is a Farpoint DLC expansion out already, even though the game only came out like a month ago.
Wow.
And I think it's a free update, free DLC pack with 13 bronzes. So if you've got Farpoint, there's DLC out for that. And the final thing that I found quite funny was there's this game called Chromagun, which I was like, oh yeah, what's this? Because it had 9 golds, 1 silver, 10 bronze, and a platinum. I'm like, color me interested. Let me Google this Chromagun game. It looks exactly like Portal in the images. I'm like, that looks like Portal, except for the gun looks a little bit different. Is this like a big rip-off game where they're just trying to hide the fact it's Portal? And then I see the first trophy is a bronze called Not a Lie. Find the hidden cake we actually have, as opposed to that other game that doesn't have a cake.
So they're obviously
They're in on it.
hamming it up, yeah.
Which I thought was quite funny. So good for them to be part of it, I suppose. That's it for this week. It's a
short, sharp.
short, sharp edition of Platinum Explosion this week for you, everyone. Don't forget to head over to twitch.tv/Explosion Network to watch all our live streams. I've been live streaming Crash most of the week. You can find the link to our VOD channel somewhere that we started. I should probably make a bit.ly thingy for that too. I could just make one up now, but then if I did a wrong one, then you'd be trying for a different one, and I might
Explosion
forget to
VOD.
actually get it right. So
It'll most likely be Explosion VOD.
let's just Explosion VOD. Let's lock that in, but not lock it in fully. That'll be great. Don't forget to go to www.explosionnetwork.com for all our other programmings, head to Twitter, follow us, Explosion Pod there, not VOD, Pod. Tweet your thoughts and opinions at us every day of the week. Just say, hey, what's up? Love you guys. That's amazing. Head to iTunes, give reviews, thumbs up. And then you can also tweet at me, Viva La Dil, VIVALADIL, and say, hey, loved you. Here's my love to tell you how sorry I am that you don't have free easy platinums in Australia. And I'll be like, oh, thanks, man. That's real nice of you to say. Jack, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at cruisy_mate, YouTube cruisymate, and don't be shy to reach out. We'd love to interact with our listeners.
Love you,
Good
Nick.
job. Jono?
You can find me on Twitter at Jono himself. If you want to get more of me other than the Explosion content, you can check out Putting In Work, my other podcast. And we've got a very cool episode coming out this week. But otherwise, if you can't get enough of that, then you can read my book, The Spy and the Maven, available now at all retailers online. Ash.
Ashley, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY, and that's it.
That's it. You don't
That's
you
it.
You don't want to. You got nothing.
I got
no
nothing
tangents?
else.
Book, Ash. Come on. It's not
I got
hard.
no tangent.
Plat.
Plat!
Wow, that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Fucking burned you.